What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go back and take a look at the infamous Cheesecake Factory date that went wrong. Yeah, that's right, y'all. The infamous chick that turned down the Cheesecake Factory date is back and did another interview with my guy Kevin Wesley over at the Truth Factory. So we're going to check out what the interview was looking like. We're going to check and see if we learned some lessons here. We're going to dive right into it and see what we can observe, see what we can pick apart. You guys, is entertainment and education. And let's see if they learn something from their encounter.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them.
A few weeks later, I'm sure you've had some time to think about what you guys discussed in the car. I'm sure you've had some time to think about it. Before I ask you any questions, have you guys had a second date?
No.
No second dates?
Not yet.
Okay. So I'll start with you, Jay. What has dating been like for you since that video went viral?
Since I was on the video, kind of unexpected, I might not have put my best foot forward, you know? And so I feel like, I've not really met anyone since who I've really gotten to get to know like that, because a lot of women, they might have seen the video or might have heard from it, or maybe a friend of them has seen the video and shares it with them.
Man, coward, beta male bullshit. Oh, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
For my brothers out there, man, take a look at his posture. Take a look at what he's saying and his tonality of voice, and take a look at what he's talking about. This is not signs of a confident man that has a lot of testosterone flowing through his veins. This is a sign of a beta. This is signs of a man that does not take life by the horns and does not get knocked down 10 times and get back up 20. This is not the type of guy that is going to be assertive in his relationships and in his life, period. The way that he's speaking, he's letting them know a little bit too much about what's going on in his personal life when it comes to dating after the encounter at the Cheesecake Factory. As far as she should know, you know, everything is smooth sailing. But we're going to continue on. We're going to continue to listen to what he's got to say. But so far, so good. The way he's starting off, I honestly would really want to coach this guy on how to handle these interviews and how to conduct himself so he can be able to carry himself in the best light possible as a man. So let's continue watching it.
And so they kind of had this image of me based on the video.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't really helped.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like they might think everything about me is reflected in that video, and I don't think it is.
He gonna cry in the car.
Now, to be completely and totally honest with y'all, like, I don't think that women really care about the Cheesecake Factory video. I don't think that they even care, because of the simple fact that most women would be totally satisfied with a date at the Cheesecake Factory. Now, when it comes to his confidence level, his charisma, the way that he carries himself, you know, he's not carrying himself in an assertive manner. Now, women will see that and they will pick that apart and they will care about that. If you seem to lack confidence, if you seem to lack charisma, if you seem to lack, you know, masculinity, that's what really turns women off and put them off. And based on how he's been talking and conducting himself in his interview right now, the way that he's sitting in the seat right now, he's slouching. It's not chest back, head high. He's not carrying himself like an assertive man. So I guarantee you that a lot of the women that he's encountering are noticing this and they're turned off by this immediately. But let's continue.
And but yeah, it's been difficult.
Sure.
Well, and it's even before this, you know, dating has already been difficult for me.
Manhood hour.
Brother, pick your goddamn head up. Get your chest out, your shoulders back, your head held high. Don't be sitting there talking like you some goddamn simp.
You notice the lack of eye contact, the lack of confidence, the slouchy posture. That's all. Hit all 3 simp marks right there.
Come on now. Some things you do not discuss in front of other women. A lot of this stuff that you need to take it to the boys. You need to talk to the homies about what you going through in your own personal dating life.
That men are supposed to be in women's eyes, and there's some things that are never supposed to see, and your woman's not supposed to see you cry. I don't care if your family passes away, you're not supposed to cry. And it's not because you're not emotional. You come and cry to me, come and cry to your boy, come and cry to your sister. You do not cry to your woman. There's sometimes, like, women, it's not their fault. They just like hypergamous inside their body. It's not their fault. When you know that thing when women say I get the ick, they won't even understand why they do it. But seeing you crying with the snot down your face dripping, have you seen your face when you cry?
There's studies,
Do you know what you look like?
There's studies that have confirmed this too.
But there's
where
a
like
difference.
women lose respect for men after they see them cry.
Trust me.
If you don't take that and discuss that in front of a woman that you're supposed to be courting or dating or had potential to court or date, you understand what I'm saying? If you in a dry spell, you never sit there and you let a woman know that you're in a dry spell. This is some things that you do not do. You carry yourself with confidence, with pride, with strength, with honor, with dignity. All those things, you're going to be able to do it right then and there. You don't sit there and complain about your dating life in front of other people, other women. You understand what I'm saying? You do that in a private. You go find a closet and you go cry in the closet.
The last time you cried, like if God forbid something happened to one of your parents, you would cry.
Yeah, no, I mean, my grandma passed away a few months ago. I haven't actually shared this. And yeah, I went on, there was a girl over, I went over and I went over on the balcony and I cried by myself and like I saw her coming, I was like, wipe that shit up immediately. And I told her, leave me alone. And the reason why is because even though it sounds so great to be able to open up in front of your girl, I understand that the female hard wiring is literally designed to look for security and be repulsed by inadequacy. So by you crying, you don't know how your girl's gonna react to it. For example, when we asked her the question, she raised her hand, I want a vulnerable man. But when we asked her what ended up happening, he cried and it turned her off. You don't know how a woman's gonna respond until it actually happens in front of her. Yeah. Every girl is different in how they respond to you opening up your emotions. So what I tell guys instead is, go ahead and be vulnerable with a man. No homo.
You understand what I'm saying? So get your chest back, get your head up, speak with that confidence, that assertive tone. Let them know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy who's in the Cheesecake Factory video that put his foot down and said, you know what, I'm gonna do what needs to be done. That's the guy who needs to continue to show up every day, day after day. That's who needs to show up to these things. That's who needs to speak. That's who needs to conduct themselves. Because I understand when you're doing an interview, you might be a little bit nervous. You understand what I'm saying? You might not talk too much in front of large crowds or large groups of people or interviews at all. But guess what? If you're in the interview, you need to conduct yourself. You need to practice in the mirror. You need to do what you got to do. Fix your posture. Fix your tonality of voice, assert yourself. Be a man. Don't allow this woman to take your nuts and put them in her purse. You understand what I'm saying? Continue to hold yourself strong. Put the beta away. Long live the alpha.
I imagine your views kind of clash with what you're looking for and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think so. Because, I think in general, my values kind of reflect wanting to build something that lasts.
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure that anyone that I meet is willing to build a really strong foundation based on our mutual values. Mm-hmm. And I think it in general, a lot of the people that I meet, either they don't have time to set towards building something like that, or they just don't want to because, they're younger, they want to experience, casual dating or whatever it is. And it's just not something that I'm looking for right now.
Understood. So.
Oh, wow. He's such a fucking nice guy. He's making another mistake. Look, women don't want a man who other women don't desire. So you need to be sure that you're always putting your best foot forward. You're going to go and experience other women because you need to learn who women really are and what you really like as a man. So you want to be sure that you're not cutting that part of your life out, because you got to constantly interact with women. Not only does it help build your confidence of talking to other women and attractive women, it helps you be able to learn your quirks as to what you do and don't like. But let's continue.
Obviously, guys, Jay's saying that they have they're viewing him in a negative light when it comes to dating. When I saw Jay, I saw someone who was making some excellent points, who knew what he wanted, and he's actually now like a Giga Chad in the manosphere world, in the red pill community. The brother's being mentioned everywhere for the way he handled that conversation. Now I'm going to ask Alicia as well, because during this conversation, Alicia,
Alicia.
Thank you.
We'll get that right. Okay, so Alicia, you didn't seem to really disagree with what he was saying. Now, you had a definitely a different opinion before he gave you his mind, right? But you seemed very receptive to it. Can you explain to me kind of what you were thinking and how you saw him in that video? Because he's saying they took him in a negative light. What do you think?
Well, yes, I think once we had the conversation, I could see my role in the conflict.
Okay, okay.
Let's back up a little bit. To be fair, I mean, I was always raised that the man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me. That means wherever I want to go, you take me.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want, you buy me. That's courting.
Police! Police! Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police!
Where I'll start with this one. So there is a lot of women out here nowadays who really do think that, like how she thinks, how they should be able to get whatever they want. The system of entitlement is on a whole nother level nowadays. And with the culture that we do currently have, it's not like a hookup culture that does not come with its perks for women. Now, the perks for women is probably a free meal, free meals, period. And free bags, free clothes, free all these other things. It really does come to them very easy. Now, when it comes to men, they're the ones who are spending. Now, these women do not consider your pockets. Now, if you can afford it, by all means, brother, do what you got to do. But just remember this, you can't go broke chasing every little stank ass hoe with a tongue piercing. Now, let's continue.
You know, I'm looking for a provider. So, but after the conversation, I could see how there was a lot of in that exchange. I was definitely very self-centered, and I can appreciate if I do want someone to provide for me, I at least gotta be a little bit nice.
Absolutely. Okay.
You're on here, you're trying to save face based on the comments that you've been getting across various different channels. Various comments where people have drug your ass left, right, the center because of your behavior that you displayed that day. Now you're on here saving face and trying to recant what you did. That has been saying that this woman is very entitled. She is very stuck up, very arrogant, and she's giving women a very bad name here in the West. Now, when it comes to provisions and being a man being a provider, yeah, of course, a man would love to be a provider, but he cannot provide the lifestyle you're looking for, because what you're looking for is the cream of the crop. You're looking for creme de leon, and he's going to be able to provide on average the most average lifestyle you can be able to afford. So, you're looking for a man to be able to get you flued out. To get you flued out to different countries, to get you Birkin, to get you Louis, to get you YSL, to get you all of these things in your life. This is what you're looking for. You're not looking for a nice, wholesome life with children and a husband that love you. Yeah, I don't buy that shit for now, not for 1 minute, not one iota. But let's continue watching.
Okay, great. So now I ask you this, based on your idea of dating before your conversation with Jay. How did you grow up? Who also thinks that way? I'm sure you have friends who think that way. I've heard it a lot.
I mean, everybody. I mean, that's what he's supposed to be, the provider.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm a beautiful woman, so I'm expecting to be treated like royalty.
Buy a dog and die alone.
Wow.
That's what you get when you want to be that's what you want to get when you put your degree above everything else. It's because this is about you.
I mean, come on. So that's what I was doing.
But the kicker is, how do we treat him? And that's where the disconnect was.
Right.
In the video, now of course I'm sure you think of it differently now, but in the video you basically told him that you're not going in there, your value. It would be embarrassing for you to go inside a Cheesecake Factory. A lot of people like Cheesecake Factory. Now. So when I see that video, I'm thinking, okay, she must have some friends who probably would disagree with her going inside a Cheesecake Factory. Your peer group. So peer pressure probably keeps you from.
Never lived that. Oh my God! I would have never lived that down.
Wow! I date the Cheesecake Factory, they wouldn't let you live that down.
Now, this is a prime example why you got to live day by day to be the motherfucking man, fellas. Because of the simple fact that women are the same thing. They do the same thing that men do. It's just on a different level. Men want to walk around with one of the most beautiful women who take great care of herself, who's totally submissive, you know, who's going to be the chick that's going to get up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning after you come home with the fellas and offer to make y'all steaks and fix y'all steaks. You know, men want to be the big boss, the top G, the guy who is the motherfucking man.
He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G, boom, boom. That's what we want.
The guy who is that guy. You know what I mean? So this is what men are looking to be. Same thing on the flip side with women. They're looking to be with one of the biggest, the richest guys, the most handsome, everything. They looking for that so they can have bragging rights. This is the reason why they want that. They want to be able to brag about you. They want you to give them reasons to talk to their girlfriends about what you've done for them. Things like that. This is what they want. This is what they desire. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting these things. There's nothing wrong with desiring these things, but they also have to be very reasonable as how you can be able to provide that to them. If you are striving to be the best man that you possibly can be within this relationship, she should be able to understand that, accept it, and be able to say, you know what, he's doing the best that he can. And once you're able and you're in the position to be able to do even more for her, to show her more of a different type of quality of life, then she'll have an opportunity to really brag about you just for those things that you've done for her. But she's got to be very appreciative. There is no way that she can meet and have an approach or have a spirit of entitlement. Like she has to have this immediately within a relationship. Like she deserves it right now. Like, no, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the time and the effort. I need to be able to know that I can trust you, that I can be able to trust you with my life, trust you with my business, trust you with my finances, trust you with everything in order for me to be able to want to provide a more palatable lifestyle for you. I need to be able to know that you're able to ride for me and be able to help me build and grow and be able to say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and stick this out and be able to get things done. That's the only thing that men are really looking for, is that respect and a woman who's going to be loyal. You know what I mean? So same thing, you know, we gotta keep this in mind. They got the pack of women that they run with, and those women are gonna take into account. They can't sit down at the women's table and brag about you taking her to Chuck E. Cheese. So bro, grind, work hard, go gym. Don't stop grinding, because you want to be sure you give her life experiences that she can always remember for the rest of her life. Even if you are married to a woman who's a very humble, very meek woman who does not need all that, you just want to be able to do it so that you guys can enjoy your life here on earth until you go on to the next life.
No, I have an image to protect.
Wow.
Does not do that. I mean, that was, you know, that was my circle, though. That's how, sure. I mean, that's how we roll. Sure. I mean, to be quite blunt, that's how we roll. Hypergamy is a big thing in my circle. Mm-hmm. It's what we've been taught. Why? I mean, as a black woman, I'm gonna go there. I mean, as a black woman, we're really tired of having to settle. We want to be treated well. Mm-hmm. We want that soft life. So that's what I thought I was going after. However, what I understand is a part of having a soft life is being cooperative.
Being soft.
Not being combative,
You're
right?
Actually being soft.
Right.
Right? Being receptive, being sweet.
Absolutely.
Being pleasant, right? Because we do understand the value of resources, but it can't be just something for a lifestyle. Resources, a man's resources is not just for a woman's experiences and traveling, and the lifestyle they'll live when married is for providing for the family and the children. And that's why she should seek a man and, you know, respect his resources or prioritize his resources, not just for what it can do for her.
Right.
Right. And so when you were in the beginning of it, you was just saying, I'm not doing it. It seemed really selfish. Right. And I appreciated that when I saw the video myself. That's one of the things I covered is, wow, I've never seen a woman that receptive to being accountable. Right. Mm-hmm. And you were. But Jay, however, didn't want to go out on a date. He wanted to discontinue that date, and he wanted to take it on to the house. Mm-hmm. Jay, is that your first time stopping a date midway through and going on back home, or?
Yeah, something like that's. I'm sorry, at least. Yeah, that's the first time I've really like put my foot down to that kind of extent. But it's not like an isolated incident. Okay. You know, like I've gone on dates with several people now, even before her, where they had very specific things they were looking for in a boyfriend or whatever, and even within my own circles, right? And that's just not something that I'm looking for, because I was raised like we were talking about how she was raised, whereas with me, like my family, like we've passed down the name for ages, and we're a very close knit, strong family.
You've passed down your first name, Jay? Like your father's and father.
Yeah,
How many generations, probably?
I mean, I couldn't really count it myself.
Wow.
Because I mean, the thing is, like, I'm from India.
Okay.
You know, and the partition happened where like India was separated from Pakistan, and a lot of my family were on both sides of that, and we had to come back together.
Wow.
And we had to. It was very important for us to stay strong after the fact. At the time, maybe we didn't care as much about creating this legacy, but ever since, it's like that's been one of the strongest parts of our family, is the importance in creating our legacy. And with that in mind, like, I've grown up with the idea that I want a strong family here now that I'm living in America. The only kind of relationships I seek are ones where that is the only value. That is the biggest value. That is the most important thing for the other person as well as for me.
Wow. That's actually powerful. So your family going through all that they did, it caused you guys to really idealize relationships, right? And
specifically relationships that last.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so here you are in America dating.
Yeah.
And mostly in our culture, where you stated earlier you were a black woman. Of course, we have been through some things, right? In our culture here in the States and throughout the whole diaspora, I like using that word. But a lot of times our culture has been stripped, and we haven't yet began to idealize relationships, you know, so we're more so going along with the flow. So here he is in America, and he's meeting a woman who is in America, and she sees dating the way Americans see dating. And so I can see the clash in that.
Yeah.
You know, he's looking at you as if that's selfish. You're looking at him as if, you know, he's treating you beneath your worth, your actual value. So here's what I want to do, guys. I want to go back a bit. Can y'all tell me how y'all met? I want you to tell me how you guys met.
So I was in Midtown, and like I barely even have time to go out with friends and all that, but it was a really close friend's birthday, so I went to get some drinks for the first time in ages, and I saw this beautiful woman who it seemed like every other guy in the bar was either intimidated by or too shy to talk to, and I thought, what the hell, why not? And she was, you know, minding her own business, and I asked her, you know, her name, Alicia, and I thought that's a beautiful name. And even despite how loud it was in the bar, we were still able to talk a little here and there, and I got her number, and she had to go. And so we kept talking after that for a little bit, and then like a week later, I asked her, you want to go out? I mean, to this restaurant.
Yeah.
And I told her it would be a surprise. And maybe that might be a problem on my part. You know, it might have raised the expectations a little bit. But I guess the surprise ended up being Cheesecake Factory, where the original surprise was.
I want to get to that. You had something else planned for her, right?
Yeah.
And because of how the evening went, the Cheesecake Factory happened, right?
Yeah.
So.
Can I just say before?
Sure.
I love the Cheesecake Factory, and it's a place that I've gone to for like every birthday. So like it wasn't just like a random restaurant to me. It was also like a place that I've gone with my family throughout my entire life, and I love Cheesecake Factory.
So you didn't. So obviously the because you guys were late, she wasn't ready. You weren't able to take her to the restaurant that you wanted to take her to. You figured, I can't go wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yeah.
It's my old birthday restaurant, you know.
It's my lucky.
She'll love it.
And that's the lucky spot too. The perimeter.
Lucky spot. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that one. No, I'm kidding with you.
Okay.
Alicia.
Yeah.
So, Jay, you see Jay walking up to you in the bar, say Midtown? He's walking up to you. He's going to talk with you. There are other guys around you. Did you notice those guys probably want to talk to you? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
So what made you say, okay, I'm going to give this guy a chance? What was it about him?
Well, he was bold enough to come up and talk to me for
Confidence,
one.
okay.
So yes, I definitely am attracted to confidence. He just seemed like he had a pure heart. He was, very thoughtful, engaging. I mean, the only he won me over. He did win me over, but I'm a tall woman, and so there wasn't necessarily like that immediate attraction. But as we began to talk, it was really his heart that made me say, I'll give this guy a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you draw your line? Is that typically you don't date guys who are, guys have to be at least your height or taller before you would date them?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I understand that. That probably makes it difficult finding someone suitable for yourself. You are what, 6'1", 6?
I'm almost 6'1", yes.
Almost 6'1". Wow. So that means, let's see, 14.5% of men are at least 6 feet, right? But that next 2 inches for you to find someone taller than you, that's 3.6% of men in the entire world that are tall enough that are they're at least 6'2".
I know.
Is that discouraging?
I mean, I only need one.
This place has gone way downhill. What do you say we go somewhere else?
That's a huge bitch.
I only need to
You need one, but he needs to be that height. He needs to make the resources, right?
Yeah.
He needs to be funny. He needs to be charismatic. He needs to be disciplined. And that doesn't discourage you? Like,
I'm an optimist. But no.
that I like it.
Yeah,
I like
but no, I mean,
An optimist.
the logically speaking, I understand what you're saying. I've heard this many times, but I haven't given up on I hadn't given up on that. But I'm actually open. I really enjoyed our conversation, so I would consider.
Well, sure, and I was going to commend you for that. I didn't see it as a. I know you're saying that they have to be that height, but it seems that you are willing to, make an exception, just like you did for Jay here when he walked up and he had the confidence of a 6'2" man. You were willing to at least hear what he had to say, and that's a good thing, because it may not be the cookie cutter thing that you plan out. So if we're going to look for a happy relationship, a harmonic one that gives our children and our lineage what they need for years and generations to come, right? We may have to make an exception or two, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not what we want; it's what we need, and we have to be more open to what we need.
That's absolutely true. I was going to say, when it comes to how we date, I think a lot of it is just the information that we have, right? So what I noticed from yours and Alicia's conversation, Jay, is that you had a different view of altogether of what dating should look like leading up to a relationship, and she had a different view. And now,
like, what I should say is, I mean, at the very end of the day, like, I understand dating in America is different from where my family's from, and in a way, like, it's perfectly fine to have those views and to think of dating differently. I just think, for me, I have a very specific criteria, and it's not a long list of criteria, but it's just certain values that I
Sure. Well, I think a lot like you. That's why the video stood out to me. I believe relationships should be harmonic. They should be for a reason. So I believe in dating with intent, right? Yeah. But many people in our generation today, they see dating as something that's just fun. They don't see it as a way to establish a healthy relationship. And that's what I was going to say. There's almost little to no understanding as to what dating should look like when you're trying to establish an intent for a meaningful relationship. And I think that's the biggest problem. It's not so much that people are necessarily selfish or entitled. It's more so that they don't know what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oftentimes we think we know, but we really don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when he asked you the question, you expect men to go all out on a date, huh? You said absolutely. If he likes her, he should present that, right?
Yes.
He should lead and be masculine. He should be willing to pay for the meal, show up on time, open doors for her, the whole nine. But when he asked you, what is a woman expected to do? You said, look good, be there. And that's where the, right?
Disconnect was,
Absolutely. Because there should be things that a woman should do, right? So if you've thought about that, could you tell me some of what you think now, if he were to ask you that question today?
Sure. If you think about, watching the video, it's like, how do you expect this person to keep giving, and you're not giving anything back? So now we're depleted.
Absolutely.
And so who's going to pour into him?
Wow.
So, I mean, if you truly do want that type of protection provider, there has to be some balance.
Absolutely.
So.
Wow, that's very powerful. I actually took the liberty to make a list of things that men and women should look for in each other on a date, right? I'm gonna read them to you. I want you guys to tell me what you think of in the end, okay? Let's start with what you're looking for in a man, okay? So what a woman looks for in a man is respect and courtesy. Would you say I'm wrong? Confidence, right?
Yeah.
Communication skills.
Absolutely.
Knowing what he wants, where he's going with it, right?
Yes.
Initiative, taking the initiative. Chivalry.
Yes.
Okay. Resilience.
Yes.
Right. So even when you being a little bit, hard to get, he can push past that, right? The resilience. Generosity.
Yes.
Okay. So here are the behaviors that look good to a man when he's looking for a woman. I'm going to ask you the same questions. You tell me if you like the sound of that. Men are looking for kindness. Right. You want her to be really kind, really sweet, right? Pleasant. So what about active listening?
Yeah.
And you said when she got in the car, she was putting the makeup on and she wasn't really responding to you or responsive to you.
Yeah.
And you took from that she didn't like you much.
Yeah.
Right. Encouragement. And,
yes,
and you said that, being able to pour back into him, right? Positivity, right? So not being negative, having a smile on your face, right? Respect for independence.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Adaptability. Okay. There was this time where you wanted her to hold your arm, right? And walk you so you could walk her to the car, and she didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
You expressed to her that you didn't like that. And that made you feel like, of course, with her not being on your arm, how can you truly protect her, right? But also her not doing that says she ain't really feeling me like that.
Yeah.
She don't really like me like that.
And, I get, it was a first date. Maybe she's not at that stage yet. But
I get that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question. Let's just say you're out with him, right? You're on a date with a guy and some guy comes up, takes your purse. Do you want your date to have your back?
Yeah.
So
he has to protect me.
And even if he's not ready for that yet, right? Because he shouldn't even ask you on a date if he's not going to protect you if something were to happen to you. This is why you should take his arm. You see? So it may feel like I'm giving this guy too much of me, but it's more like I'm being cooperative to the roles that we're playing. He's going to protect me if something happens right now. And so I'm going to stand close to him. This lets the people on the outside looking in know that I'm with this man. He is taking care of me. We're out together.
Hey, Chris. Mama, come on. What we just do? What we just do? Why you playing?
But you looked at it.
Why you playing? Why you playing?
Right?
It's like, it kind of shows that you trust.
Absolutely.
I think. I felt like
trust is a big
word. What women get out of a date is a free bodyguard. Because if anything goes wrong with her, he has to really put his life on the line for her. So if a man asks you out on a date, you shouldn't say, I'm not ready to hold your hand. I know that seems like a move forward in a relationship, so to speak, but it's actually just part of a date. Your goal is to give him an example of what it would look like if you were his partner, and his goal is to do the same. So to a man, you not doing those things makes it appear that you're not that interested.
Definitely not ready to be a partner, I guess.
It also kills his ability to be completely masculine for you on that date, because if you won't take his arm, then,
I feel like when you just said, like, trust is a big word, it is a big word. But maybe the way I saw it is when you wanted to go out with me at all, that was you trusting me.
Right.
And it did kind of hurt a little bit. I mean, again, I can respect boundaries, but it did still at the same time hurt my feelings.
Oh, poor daddy feelings hurt.
So obviously he's doing a lot of things that you just should not do. Now, there are talks of a second date, and Kevin Wesley's offering to pay for it. Now, but my problem is that I don't see this as being a good match or a good fit. One thing that I do see that she's really attracted to is being able to dominate this guy. Because she's much taller and much larger than he is, but he is also not a masculine energy for her to be able to respect. He's also extremely emotional, which I can tell that he wears his emotion his heart on his sleeves. He really needs to, and it's very easy to tell that these two are just not going to be a very good match. What I believe that he should do is he should stop, he should consider his options, and he should choose wisely. Get out there, play the field a little bit more, date a little bit more, and don't be afraid for him to step out his comfort zone. I can tell that his self-esteem may be not as high as it should be. He should go and work on his own self-image, his own self-esteem, and go ahead and keep trying until he finds the right woman who's going to give him that yes, who's going to allow him to be chivalrous and take her out. He needs to find more suited options, because she just ain't it, and she's not feeling him, and I can really tell. Now, if you want to check out the full video, you got to go over to Kevin Wesley's channel and go ahead and check out the full video. It's about 30 minutes long, so I couldn't cover it all, so go check out the rest of it. Also, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. It's completely free to show me some love. And what's your opinion? Do you believe their second date may be successful, or are they just going to be wasting each other's time? Because let's face the facts and be honest. These two definitely are not a match, in my opinion. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell on your way out. Until next time, shalom.